We outside today. We outside today. Good morning. I know I look like yesterday. That's only because I got on the same hat and coat. It is what it is. I'm not taking my hat and coat off. Oh! It's about to be a long commute because these people is driving at a snail's pace. Oh, and that's because the traffic is jammed. Great, I'm getting off. Now I'm gonna have to start my live over. Because I'm gonna have to get off here and let them know that I'm not gonna be on time. This is crazy. But in any case, since we're here, while we're here, oh yeah, this traffic is nuts. It ain't even open. All right, so this is a good conversation to have today, especially today. Why do people act like being prepared is like so taboo? Like preparedness is so valuable. It's so important. It's so necessary. Yet it seems like we as a society have the propensity. Oh, really? Is that really? I'm dumb. People stupid. We as society have the propensity to be more reactive than proactive. And I hate that for us. Right? Not everybody, obviously. You know, when I'm speaking about things that I'm speaking about, I'm usually coming from the black experience, not from a universal experience, because I don't know. I can only comment about what I see when it comes to that type of stuff, and what I see might not necessarily be the rule. It might be an exception, because there are certain groups of people that just seem to be prepared, right? They seem to understand the importance of community and family and spirituality and all of those other things to where they're prepared for worst case scenarios, you know. And for what it's worth, I don't think that we as a people, as a collective of African Americans, are always as prepared as we need to be when it comes to being proactive about certain life situations that are inevitable. An easy way to look at this is with like life insurance, right? And I'm not here to sell nothing, because I don't sell life insurance. I know people that do, so, you know, God bless them. You know what I mean? And if you need some, holla at me. I got some resources. But that's part of it. Is like, we don't consider, like, you know, one thing is for certain, and two things is for sure. You will be put in position to pay taxes, and you will be put in the position to die. Those are inevitable occurrences in life. And the odd thing about that is we never really prepare ourselves for those occurrences until we have to pay the piper, so to speak, right? Like, you hear about major music artists that owe tons of taxes, or haven't paid their taxes, or being you know, put in jail for taxes. One person that comes to mind is Lil Wayne, where he had an extremely high tax bill, and Jay-Z ended up paying it for him. Excuse me. And you know, and then on the flip side of that thing, right? I was watching the Eddie Murphy documentary that on Netflix, and he talked about how he had to bury Rick James, like one of the most famous and polarizing human beings from the city I'm from Buffalo, New York. And Eddie Murphy, the comedian and actor, Eddie Murphy had to take care of Rick James's burial arrangements because we are not proactive. We don't present ourselves to be as proactive as we should or need to be. What is up? Why is this truck making this turn on this street? This is about to be an adventure today. But that's part of the problem for us, is we not as proactive as we need to be. And I encourage all of us to follow the 5 P's, man. Like, proper preparation prevents poor performance. That's a life motto for me, for my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, or at least like my immediate family, my kids and my wife. It's like when we run into situations where we're not prepared, it's like, yo, what happened? How were we not prepared? How did we slip up on the 5 P's? How did we miss the mark? You know what I mean? So that way we can avoid missing the mark in other situations. Because for what it's worth, we would want, when we call on for help, we would want the people that's down to help us to try to help us avoid the situation and not just react to it, right? Obviously, emergencies are emergencies. Things happen that's out of our control. But a lot of this stuff that we can control by avoiding making life choices that are more geared towards happiness or less geared towards happiness and more geared towards readiness, right? Because it ain't no feeling like knowing that an emergency is about to come or can come and you ready for it. Like, it's just such a wonderful feeling to know that you're ready for an emergency. You know what I'm saying? And when I say ready for an emergency, I don't mean putting yourself in position where you're taking more risk just to cover an emergency. What that might look like from a financial position, what that might look like is, I was ready for the emergency because I had a credit card with a high enough balance in order to pay for the emergency. Nah, that mean you ain't had the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, that mean you ain't. If you got the money, then why borrow from somebody else when you can borrow from yourself? Come on, what is up with this traffic? Like, the traffic this is ridiculous. Like, it's a mess everywhere, and people acting like they don't know how to drive. This is like the first consistent snowfall, and folks acting like they don't know how to drive. And this is gonna make me extremely late because folks acting like they don't know how to drive. Anyway, but that's part. You know, that's just part of life. It's like being ready, right? Are you ready? You know, I'm kind of ready. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't trying to die or nothing, right? And this is mad morbid. I don't even know I'm on it like this morning. Maybe because of just the way that the weather is. But I'm not ready to go. But I know that I don't predict that. So the best thing that I can do is make sure that I am prepared as much as possible. That means making sure that, you know, my wife is not bogged down with a bunch of financial responsibilities that she may or may not be able to handle on her own. That my kids are prepared from financial, emotional standpoint. That there's benefit to my life being here and being gone. There's no reason why we as a collective of people, family, can't come together and say, hey, you know what's inevitable? Grandma's gonna pass. It's inevitable. Wouldn't it be smart for us to like just figure out a way to take out $1 million life insurance policy on grandma and pay for it together as a family and come to an agreement on how those funds could be dispersed based on who's paying what, how much one person is paying, whatever the percentages are, and then let it be that. And grandma be okay with it because grandma knows that grandma gonna be gone soon. Or whenever grandma gonna be gone. She might not be gone soon. She might be gone. She might not be gone as soon as some of the people that's paying the life insurance policy. But it's preparedness. Because death is inevitable. All of this stuff is inevitable. So be prepared. Right? Be prepared. Don't wait till it's too late to try to get ready for something that is guaranteed to happen. Right? That's just it. That's the message this morning in the commute. be inspired to be ready, right? Like, for instance, like I know a lot of my peers, people that I know, they got kids, whether they be young kids, you know, like, or like maybe whether they be adult kids or kids that's getting ready to go to college or whatever the case may be. If you're not ready to send them off to a major college from a financial or educational standpoint, if you're not ready, if you believe in your heart of hearts that your child is not ready for that experience, then how you find yourself investing tens of thousands of dollars into somebody that's not ready for that situation? How do you find yourself to be comfortable with it? Especially knowing that a lot of us, like, we make decisions about certain things, and a lot of us don't even have the faith. We don't even subscribe to a faith that will allow us to be confident in knowing that the thing is going to work out. We just do it because it's a social norm, and I know that for a fact. You know, but I'm not telling you not what to do or how to do. I'm just saying, be ready, be prepared. You know, it's no feeling like being prepared. Like, I remember going through the pandemic and the city being shut down, things being shut down, us being locked in the house and not really having a opportunity, reason to come outside. But we were so prepared and have been so blessed that it was actually a huge transition, or a huge undertaking that took place, knowing that we were prepared. Like, I have been on this financial fitness journey with my family. We ain't miss a meal. We wasn't stressed out over why that woman ain't got no coat on. We wasn't stressed out over eating, making sure the bills was paid, or nothing. And that's not nothing to brag about, just to say, when you spend time focusing on fairness, and a worst case scenario happens, like, who was expected for that to occur? Nobody. I wasn't expected for it to occur, but we spent so much time making sure that we was ready from a financial standpoint that we didn't miss a beat. You know, the travel agency took a hit, of course, but there's very low overhead with that business. Like, extremely low overhead, like almost zero. So, you know, outside of, you know, us spending time, come on, drive. What you doing? Drive! Come on, drive! What's wrong? They already crashed. No, they didn't. But but a lot of that stuff was just like, we were just ready. We were just ready, right? And so now I'm just like trying to have the foresight to be ready for the next things to come. Like, we looking at the economy being crazy. We looking at the you know, politics being insane, and the people in office is losing their minds left and right. Like, they just don't know what to do. There's a bunch of foolishness going on from a political front. But as long as, like, I'm less worried about what's happening in the White House than I am about what's happening in my house. And that should always be something that we subscribe to. Because if you good at home, it's very little that, you know, that the government can do to thwart your success. There's very little that they can do to derail your opportunity for success. You know what I mean? But that means you got to be diligent about getting ready, right? So if you don't have a license to carry, you need one. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you need to be able to protect your family, because everything is on the table, right? We don't know, like, it's so much fake news and real news, and fake news that or real news that's labeled fake, and fake news that's labeled real. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if the aliens actually hit the land or they be surveying us or what. I don't know if that's a thing or not. Like, everything is on the table for me, right? So if a zombie apocalypse is on the way, I gotta be prepared, right? If a food shortage is on the way, I gotta be prepared. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to be prepared. I have people that I'm responsible for. And like a conversation that's been happening a lot in my cipher is the understanding of our duty as a people, individuals, right? Like, primarily when it comes to relationships, but just in general, what's your job? Your job as a human being on this planet, what is it? What are the skills that you have? What's your job on this planet to be able to do your part and taking care of it? Part of it is to make sure that you're preparing your family for certain circumstances and situations so that when things do occur, you're ready and you can be an example of how to navigate conflicts and consequences without it seeming like, you know, the world is on fire. That's important, right? We have to be prepared. Like, we get mad at the police because they show up after the fact, right? But that's their function. Their function is not to stop crime. They don't do a whole lot of investigation to stop crime. That's not their function. Their function is to react to somebody calling a phone number, right? Because anything else we're going to argue is profiling, right? They stop you because they feel like you're suspicious. Oh, you profiling me. So they stop doing that, and then that means they're not being proactive about stopping crime. So that means that it's our job to do that. And how do we do that? We maintain a positive environment for our families. We teach our children how to be law-abiding, stand-up citizens. We set the example by how we behave, and we put ourselves in position to be prepared for and achieving success. And whatever that looks like for you is your own thing. But at the end of the day, you gotta have something. You gotta stand for something. Like I saw yesterday, ironically, it was a group of people, again, complaining about how there's certain community groups that's buying up property and building stores and having this and having that. And they complain that the government is helping them and we can't get no help. But we know this already, and this is part of what I said in the financial fitness class yesterday. For hundreds of years, we as black people in America have been slighted when it comes to being able to gain certain levels of assistance from the government and from other entities in order for us to be able to excel and prepare ourselves in our community. We know they're not going to help us. So why do we continue to complain about others getting the help that we desire? It's nothing to complain about. Just know that you're not getting it. So you got to do something else. You got to figure out a different way. And that's how it always has been. So if that's the case today, then how about we just focus on what we can do as opposed to being stressed out about what we're not getting? We're not getting it. We're not getting it. We're not getting it, especially, part of the reason why we're not getting it is because we won't mobilize as a community. Like, if we mobilize as a community and allow for the people that have the expertise to lead us in certain spaces, then we would get it. We would get the help. We would get the grants. We would get the funding. We would get the political support and all of that. But because we don't come together as a people, we don't get it. So the only other way around that is to understand that not everybody's going to come together, which means we're not going to have the power of numbers, right? So that means we have to have the power of financial literacy, financial understanding of financial education, financial strategy, in order to create a workaround from not having the amount of bodies, right? Like I had a behind the scenes conversation with a young fella. I don't know if he's young or not, but with someone during the time where I was looking for to add names to the list for the co-op business, which I'm still doing. I'm still working on. And he was like, man, that's, 100 people. How many ever people? I think the number is 80 people. Right? That's too many people. We could do it with 10. You get 10 people with 10,000. I get 10 people with 10,000. We could buy a property. Yeah, but I don't know 10 people with 10,000. Or what he said, yeah, like we can just get 10 people with 10,000 and we can buy a property. I don't know 10 people with $10,000 just to give away it for the sake of doing something that they don't have any expertise in. I don't know nobody that'll be willing to do that. I do know people that would trust to give me 1,000. I do know that. I know that. I know a handful of people that trust me to give 1,000. So if I know a handful of people, they know a handful of people, and they know a handful of people, it shouldn't be an issue to get the 80. Right? The 80 to give 1,000 or 2,000. It shouldn't be an issue. But we have such a issue. We have such a problem with trusting each other because we don't do anything. Like, it's easy to trust somebody that you see that's actually doing some stuff, right? People trust me when it comes to answering music questions and music industry stuff. Why? Because they see me do it. They see me do it. Like, I just posted up a video where one of my homies from D Block came in town. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the founding members of D Block, with the locks and everything, came into Buffalo and was like, yo, I came to see you, dog. Like, you my dog. Like, people can see that I know stuff about the industry. So when it comes time to ask questions, it'll be like my phone ring like nobody's business. Yo, I know somebody that's trying to get into music. Yo, I know that they trust me, right? In order for them to trust me with certain levels of investment, certain levels of financial information when it comes to real estate or whatever the case may be, I gotta be able to show that. Because we don't have faith in nothing. We don't have faith in anything. We're so divided on a faith base that in order for us to accomplish things from a community standpoint, we have to prove it first. Whereas with other communities, their religious law is so strong that if you act like you don't believe, they're gonna disassociate themselves just for you acting like you don't believe. You know what I mean? And not being a part, and they won't allow for you to be a part of the plan. You gotta follow the plan. You gotta be part of the plan. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta pray at certain times. You gotta do certain things. Like, you have to, because that's what the religious law requires. We don't follow our own Christian religious law or whatever religious law as a unit together, so there's no trust there, and because there's no trust there, there's no way for us to do business together. That's why it makes it so complicated. That's why it's so spread out, right? You look at, you know what I'm saying, you look at Broadway, you look at Fillmore, you look at Bailey, and everything that you see that looks unified is all together. All of the stores are together. They all got the same storefronts. They all got them same LED lights on the windows and everything. It's all uniform, right? Think about the Chinese food restaurants. And I spoke about this. I think I spoke about this yesterday. But think about the Chinese food restaurants. All of the menus got the same food on them. They not even competing against one another from a menu standpoint. The menus is the same. You go to a hood Chinese spot, they all got General Tso chicken, beef and broccoli, crab rangoon, pork egg rolls, shrimp fried rice. They all got the same stuff. Because they understand that it's not a matter of them competing against one another, but competing against the field. We always trying to compete against one another as opposed to working together. There's so many makeshift clothing lines out here, when the smarter thing would be to say, hey, this person got a clothing line. I'm interested in having my own clothing line too, but it would make more sense for me to get with this person that already has one that's operating and working and just help, get involved, be a part of the business. But we don't do that. And so when it comes time for us to be prepared for certain things, we are all over the place. We discombobulated and we unorganized. And so we miss out. But that's our own fault. So I pray that we get it together. I pray that we get it together. I pray that we unify. Top of the year, first Monday of every month, we do financial fitness classes. Yesterday's class was great. We had some new attendees. We had some familiar faces, of course, teaching financial fitness to be focused, to be intentional, and be tenacious, helping us create strategy to get out of debt. Right, that's part of my mission, is to get people out of debt so they can realize their true investment and purchasing power, not to just be consumers, but to be investors in their own families and in their own communities. If you're interested in learning about the class, or just getting some information about how to better manage your debt and budgeting, please hit me up in my inbox. And hey, listen, I'm just trying to be an encouragement to the people. I love y'all. My name is L-Biz. I stay busy. You should too. I got to go.